Hi everyone, Richard Fredrickson here, and we are in downtown Joliet. Welcome to the beautiful Joliet at Cass in Chicago, and two great guests we have to kind of showcase for you and share with you. If you hear a little noise in the background, we are at a restaurant, so you'll hear a little bit of activity back there. We're up on the second level. By the way, the second level of Joliet is a great place for you in the summertime because they've got this fabulous balcony out there where you can relax and have a drink of your choice or lunch or dinner, because this is the place. If you haven't been to Juliet's, make it on your calendar for this month, June, or next month, July, or coming up in August. Summertime's a great time to be in downtown Joliet. Well, we have with me right now two real special guys who are going to be representing a fantastic family and a phenomenal company. It has taken me about 3 months, 3 days, 18 hours and 22 minutes to get them up here because they're busy guys. This is Mario and Darren DiBenedetti, and you will know them better as Milano Bakery. Gentlemen, welcome. I'm not going to reach way over there, but welcome. And Mario, welcome to Channel 6, and we're up here to at Juliet's as well. We're in the library. I guess they call this thing the library. I'm going to start with, as I usually do, I start with kind of a little bit of family history. Two of you can kind of chime in a little bit. Milano Bakery has quite a tradition and quite a history. So let's touch on first the family history, okay? It's almost the same, but let's do that, and then we can kind of work the Milano Bakery in there as well. And we're going to start with you, Mario. You take us down that history trail a little bit.
Okay, about almost 100 years ago, my grandfather, Mario DiBenedetti, and Frank Sofantini started the bakery in the back of a grocery store in Lockport, Illinois. And then they moved the bakery in around 1925-26 into Joliet. And in 1968, my father and his sister Josephine Santlin and John Santlin bought the bakery from my grandfather. And then me and my brother, and now it's me and my brother, and the fourth generation's working for the bakery now. That was the short version. If you want me to get into a long version,
no long version.
You know, we can talk about.
We'll do the long version someday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier before we went on the air, Darren, that you met some lady who had some photographs of the bakery.
Yeah, about 15 years ago, I ran into a lady, and she knew about Milano Bakery, and she says, I grew up in a house, and she goes, I have a picture of your ovens when you had them in the backyard. It was, and the house was underneath the 9th Street Bridge, you know, the downtown Lockport. The downtown was underneath the 9th Street Bridge, and there's a lot of grocery stores underneath there. And she said she lived in the house that was Milano Bakery at that time, which is still standing, I believe.
A lot of history, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of history, a lot of family history that just kind of goes along with the bakery. Well, now this is probably a little unfair question for you. We have not rehearsed this, by the way. This is just three of us talking here.
You'll figure that out.
How in the world? Why bakery? I mean, when whoever the first one came over here, was there a family tradition of bakers in Italy, or how did this all take place?
No, actually, when my grandfather was coming over, his dad yelled, "Be a banker," and he heard baker because you'll roll in green, you know. So now we're rolling in the wrong kind of green. That's a little joke we always say, but.
Banker, not baker.
Yeah, banker, not baker. I got the wrong thing there, wrong dough. But actually,
grandfather's brother.
My grandfather's brother, Sofantini, he was a baker. My grandpa actually mined marble over in Milan also. And when he came over, you know, he got into it. So, and his other brother, which in 1905 owned a Torino bakery. So it's been that's baking's been in our family actually over 100 years.
There-
That was his older brother, Achilles Babe de Benedetti.
Achilles, babe.
And that was in Chicago, and up until 1927, that was the biggest bakery. But that's a whole nother story.
Biggest bakery in Chicago was that bakery.
Really?
And then
Really?
it sold out to another bakery, which is a competitor of ours. Which
Wow. Now, when you mentioned Milan, Italy, is that where the Milano name came from? Where'd the Milano name come from?
Milan, Italy.
From Milan?
Because it used to be called Milan. We have route books in 1933, I believe.
34.
Remember, who was the guy who found it in his attic? And there was a little route book when they used to deliver house to house, and they'd have 10 loaves or 5. Everybody had big families because of the farms and everything else. Was it?
I can't think of his
Anyway,
name.
we have the little route book, and it says Milan on there, and they have the houses with the number of loaves with the number of kids. So it goes.
You'd keep
goes
the
back.
book at your house, and then when the driver would come up, you just mark 5 on there, like 5 cents, for the loaf, 5. Drop the loaf off, along with the other deliveries that would get to the house.
I never knew that.
Stevie Kahn.
You got bread
That was his
delivered.
name.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good memory.
I knew milk was delivered. I didn't know bread was delivered.
Yeah, just like ice used to be delivered.
Well, I knew the ice was delivered. Not that I knew. Not that I personally knew that. I know I'm old, but not that old. Not that old.
And that's why you transition with the times.
Yeah.
Once it used to be the house deliveries, then you had the grocery stores and
Yeah.
the chains,
And
private
now the
label,
change, right?
and then private label.
Yeah.
But you love the local. That's Joliet and
Well, you know what you can do for me right now? I was just thinking about this. Let's take a tour. Let's start out in the front of the bakery, which is the retail shop, and we'll go right through those doors. And as we're going through those doors, what are we looking at? And either one of you can take me on the tour of the retail store. We're looking at it right now. Darren,
Am I in the store now?
you're in the store.
Well, if you walk through the stores, you're only looking at 1,500 square foot initially, that the glass countertops, the wooden tops. And we'll have our glass of cookies in one shelf with the Italian cookies. The next shelf will have donuts. Front shelf will be pastries with Danish, almond horns, muffins. And then to the left will be the cooler, which will have sphinges, cakes in it, anything that you want to keep cool at that particular time. Eclairs, Italian pastries, and that'll be the front part of the bakery.
you may want to laugh about the cookies more. It used to be Mama B's, we'd call it.
We are
'cause
known
she made
for
all the
Italian
Now
cookies.
it's Mama D, Darren's wife, makes all the
Ah,
Italian.
she makes
Dana,
the cookies.
My better half.
That's for sure.
You can tell they're brothers, right? Okay, we're going to continue with the tour. Now, when you took me on the tour, Mario, you leave that, this room we're in right now, and we're going into, what is the next room on the main floor as you leave the retail section?
As you leave the retail, are we going to start from the front, Chicago Street, and go back? Or we gonna work our
Chicago
way
Street.
back?
We're right at Chicago Street now. We're going into that
Yeah,
room.
well, first, if you start in the back, you got to check in, sign your name, but we'll start from the front.
Okay.
Okay, outside, we have a flour silo, which holds like 90,000 pounds of flour. All right, and inside we have 2 mixers, so you can put flour into one mixer, the other mixer, and then we have 3 lines, and we produce the 4-inch, 6-inch, pretty much all our products on that. The 3rd line, 3 lines. We have 4 lines. We got the Ciabatta
Ciabatta
line,
yeah.
but that's in the next room. So basically, you got your Polish bread or dough that you're gonna add to. It's like your sponge. You're gonna add it to your doughs. You're gonna mix it, and then once it comes down, then it's gonna rest. Then you're gonna divide it, sheet it, mold it, put it on the pans, put it in the proof box, bake it, and then it comes into the other room, which you saw it comes off of the depanner.
Right.
Which is a 4-hour process from start to
Right.
finish.
And then it goes around the cooling rack, and then it gets packaged, then it goes through the metal detector, and then they load it per truck. That's, again, the short version. If you were to do the Ciabatta, go ahead on the Ciabatta.
The
What's the
ciabatta is-
ciabatta? What are we looking at?
The ciabatta is the healthiest bread you're going to want. It's most natural, and it's just flour, water,
It means like
salt,
slipper
and yeast.
in Italian.
Ciabatta means slipper. Now this is a three-step process, but it's after the dough is, or the polish is sitting, you will, everything has to be done by hand. No machines we can use. You want to handle it with your hands. After it's sitting and resting, ferments, you knock it down, you run it through. We just bought a ciabatta line. It's very gentle. It's not like the depositing it.
Yeah.
And it will sheets it and cuts it. It cuts it into to forms that you can either roll it and sheet it or make it into a ball. But you want to keep everything inside, with not disturbing the product. That's why it's a little bit.
It's got to be gentle, otherwise you're going to knock the holes.
You want to keep everything, all the integrity still inside.
Sugar, the yeast is going to create the CO2, and things. You don't want to be knocking it down and then make it tough, because then it's going to be a real tight cell structure. You want it light, loose. This is something you could bake in your oven, dip it in olive oil and cheese and eat, and it'll put a smile on your face like nothing else.
I did, because you gave me some. Right. It was great. It was great.
And like Darren said, it's flour, water, yeast. It's as natural as you can
delicious. It kind of goes along with talking about the ciabatta. It kind of goes along with your slogan, which is tradition, service, and quality. And as you've seen, as we take a look at the bakery here, they're always striving to improve. You've told me you're never standing still. You're always looking ahead, planning ahead, and in doing so, this family-owned bakery is pretty much holding its own.
Yeah, TSQ, tradition, service, and quality, always striving to improve. If you're not continuing to try to learn or better yourself, you're going to get knocked over. And once you think you know everything,
standing still, you end up in back of the line.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. When I was on tour there with you, Mario, there was Darren, I think was there a young lady learning something back there? She was doing some testing. And
Darren's daughter, we're getting ready to get BRC approved. And that's kind of the way the market's going.
Global food safety. It's a big thing.
We could sell overseas and everywhere,
And that's the next step.
That's the next step. That's going to open up a lot of doors. Besides local, you could sell the product overseas then.
Well, one of the things that was remarkable to me, because I did come the wrong way into the bakery, and I did finally sign in there, is that in looking at and then talking to some of your employees, you've had employees who are working with you, including truck drivers, who have been there unbelievable long time. I mean, really long. Wasn't there a driver I talked to who was there for 34 or 35 years?
Yeah, Mike Tellerico has been driving for that long. Yeah.
And your operations manager?
And
I think that's who it was.
Socorro, one of the supervisors. He's been
1977.
36 years, I believe.
It's amazing. I mean, you realize how amazing that is in today's society, where I think they say the average person will be in their job maybe 5 to 10 years and then moving on, and that's not the kind of tradition that you have at Milano.
You try to keep it like a family, and that's you're going to have your problems, but then we try to work it out.
Well, I overheard conversations with you and the folks in the lunchroom, and that was a lot of family conversations going on there with that. We saw some things happening as we took the tour. There is room for expansion. Any plans for future expansion?
Yes.
Okay.
We can continue that at a
different time. Okay. Well, let me do this. Let's take a closer look as we take a look and just go from left to right. What are we looking at here? We've got, we have this.
Right here's a jalapeno.
They're going to take a close-up of that. It's okay.
Jalapeno cheese bread.
And this one here?
That's in a retail store at 433 South Chicago Street, right off of 80. It's usually open from 6 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon, 7 days a week.
Great for grilled cheese.
Yeah, that's the jalapeno cheese. You throw grilled cheese on there, press it. There's nothing better. Well, except for the ciabatta. I'm kind of partial. And that's our 6-inch bun, which is, you make beef sandwiches, cold sandwiches on it. We also make a 6-inch, 4-inch wheat, a sausage roll. We can go into those later also. So, and then you have, Darren, you can go with the pastel and the petizza.
The pasels are a holiday cookie, a wafer cookie. We know we always associate food with growing up, you know, in the times of our life. And I knew when I was growing up, if I didn't have pasels and or petizza, that's how I knew it was a holiday. That would be on the table growing up. And so between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we go through a ton of these, about 3,000 of these petizzas. And everybody in this town claims to have the best. So you got to make sure that it's good all the time, because there's a lot of Slovaks and Polish in this area, and everybody claims to do the best.
Secret when it's paper thin.
It's got to be paper thin. I like to have 5 rolls, okay, 5 turns if I can, paper thin. Very proud of that petizza and our Italian cookies.
Going back to back in the bakery here, taking a look at what looks to me like brand new equipment. What are these are ovens that you have, and what's the bread you put in these ovens?
You're talking about the first part, the first 3 lines?
Yes.
Those are our production, our Gemini lines, but we also have, are you talking about the Sinali?
All this bread is ran off of
Those big ovens that you showed me the other day.
Yeah, those are rack ovens.
Yeah,
they're all stone lined.
Right. We're looking at those right now.
Okay, yeah, they're stone lined rack ovens, and they retain the heat. They save 20% on the energy, so you're being green, and you're also getting they're the best rack ovens out there on the market.
That's why I wanted to mention that, because you're 20% and you're in the green, because you're looking at and focusing. You've told me getting more and more green, right?
We're trying the right kind of green.
There you go. Both greens, being a green company and increasing some of the green.
You want to be in the black, not the red.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a couple of those years.
And I will put the disclaimer in here right now. He's not going to be able to answer fully this question, but I'll bet you he can come up with a few locations. Where, aside from the retail bakery on South Chicago Street, can folks pick up these Milano Bakery products?
You can pick them up in your local grocery store and most all your chain grocery stores. And if you don't see it, ask for it. Please ask for it, because especially if it's a new chain, that helps us get in and get more space, because
we have a ton of sales now with our 100th year anniversary.
Right, and that's why we're looking at going private label, where we can have distributors send our product even further.
Yeah. Well, Darren mentioned something that I want to bring up here before you switch off here. This is a very big year, 2015, because you mentioned back in 1915 was the beginning, officially the beginning. So tell us a little bit about the anniversary, what you're doing. You mentioned a sale going on, and then there's some activity going to be taking place coming up in August.
Yeah, I believe it's August 8th. We're going to have it at the Jackhammers.
Slammers.
And, Slammers, sorry. Slammers, which they're doing an awesome job there. And we're one of the reasons we're having our customers, we're having our vendors, you name it. It's going to be a big day. We're going to try to give out T-shirts, bread, WJOL, and a couple other radio stations be out there giving gifts, and we're going to do it right. If you're going to do it, go big or stay home, right?
Go big or stay home.
There'll be a cupcake giveaway there. We're going to give away, I believe it's 3,000 cupcakes.
To the first 3,000 people.
To the first 3,000
right?
people. And I think it's 1,000 T-shirts. Am I right about that? Don't quote me. I think
right now.
Right now.
Now we have to.
Anyway, it's going to be a spectacular time.
And it's August 8th, and get your tickets, because they're going to bring some vendors in there. They're going to have some customers who will be invited. So
it's going to be entertaining.
So it'll be a fun time. And
I want us to thank, our customers and the people that, you know,
Have
you
been
can't
loyal
you can't thank
customers.
Joliet and surrounding areas enough, because if it wasn't for you guys supporting us, just like tradition, you know, people they talk about how, you know, they buy our bread and when they grew up they ate the bread and stuff like that. It makes it all worthwhile, you know.
Darren, now, you mentioned the sale. So tell me a bit more about the sale. There's a sale going on now. Will it go through August?
It'll be
How long
all
is it on?
summer. Different stores have different dates.
Okay.
We had chain stores last week for several weeks, and it'll go on for some certain stores will go for several months.
Chains.
Independence, I'm sorry. Independence started last week. The chain stores, Jewel's, Walmart's, they will go.
Burkhart's,
Burkhart's, Tony's. Yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out now that I started
I'm
that.
gonna have to go through the list. Independence, Mitchell's.
Mitchell's
Great
is
store,
great.
Mitchell's.
By the way,
Great
Mitchell's
stores.
and
Per
CP
square
Meat
foot, you
Market
can't
are the
beat.
ones that do these two. We'll have
And they put us
sweets.
in their ads, and Burkhardt.
Great
they're
people.
all- Yeah.
If you're brand new to the Joliet area, this is me now, okay? I won't get these guys in trouble with the other stores because, you know, they're in all the major chain stores and major independents. You're going to find these great
they're all
Milano
great.
products, and they're all great. But, and I haven't been there for a while. I need to go over there. But Mitchell's is really special. If you want to kind of go back, you know, and maybe think you're back in the 1950s when you have like 4 or 5 butchers, and I mean, there's probably that many back there, and the store isn't that big, but it's got lots of great stuff in there, and among that is the Milano products. The sale, what is it, like you buy one, you get one? What is it? Or is it different in
We're
different
doing,
places?
starting off with the 4-inch, buy one, get one free. It's unlimited. It's our way. 100 years, you know, it's $1. It's, you know, you're getting it half price. It's our way of giving back. We're doing that, obviously, with the 4-inch, and then next month we'll be running the 6-inch. We're going to run a different product throughout the rest of the year.
You,
And if you got to, you know, go ahead.
no, go ahead, no.
No, you definitely want to sell out, and it's going really well.
Great, great. I was just going to mention the fact that when I went to the bakery, I saw Darren's daughter there, but there, and then you mentioned at the
Tony.
very beginning that you're into, you know, it's you and Darren and the 4th generation. Who else is working at that bakery, and who else do you have, are you trying to convince to work at the bakery?
Yeah, like we were talking, we have Darren's son Drake, who's a supervisor, and he's running shift 1. He's doing a phenomenal job. And then you have Tony, who's doing on the BRC, which is she's like a sponge, observing everything. And basically, we've had kids, you know, working throughout when they were growing up.
Right.
I mean, we got pictures of. I got my Gina's down there. She scores the product. Samantha, she'll do, and like a lot of the kids, like if they're wedding cake things or different events. You got Tori.
Victoria will be in the
Victoria
store.
will be in the store.
Luke, it's kind of tough to get Luke in there, but I got him on Sundays to work about 4 hours.
All right, that's
Unfortunately,
good.
before he wants to scoot out.
He wants
And
to.
Teo will help
He's
also.
good at baseball.
Yeah.
So it truly is a family-owned business with lots of great employees, and now here's the part that's going to be the fun part, okay?
Oh,
You mentioned,
let me forget.
did you forget somebody?
Lori.
Oh,
He's on wedding cakes and does the computer. Okay. Make sure I put that in there.
yes.
Dana makes cookies.
And, yeah.
There you go. All
I
right.
checked you on that.
Yeah. Well, and,
She does a wonderful job.
And runs the
Okay.
store.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Thank you, ladies, thank you.
And takes care of us. They do.
And speaking of the
That's an
two
easy
of
job.
you, now, when did you start working at the bakery? When did you start this career of yours?
It depends, working or going down there when my dad would bring us and we sleeping on flour sacks.
Both.
Probably as early as we could walk, we were down there.
I remember 9 years old going down and making breadcrumbs, scooping up, and we had this little breadcrumb. We put the canned lids on it. But we were down there much earlier than that, but actually.
Actually, probably doing work, 9, 8 years old, stretching bread. And then as we got older.
Remember we used to make bread on
Before-
Wednesdays for Honey Otis.
Yeah, a lot of times before we went to school too. Remember Sub Diggity?
Yeah, and I also remember Honey Otis. What a great memory that is.
Yeah. Now there's some history. Great family, great story.
And I know Sophie Honey Otis watches this program, so they're talking about your family, Sophie. There are other stories that maybe for another time. I don't know. When did you start in the management part, in ownership part? When did all that take place?
Well, go ahead, Dan.
That was kind of, it was kind of baptism by fire. We probably would be nicer to kind of ease ourselves in. Our father became ill in the 80s, and we've kind of put ourselves in more of a leadership roles at that time, maybe sooner than we probably should have. But I think it were great employees around us. We all worked together, full time in that regards. So we were kind of running the place at a pretty early age.
Yeah, I was going to JUCO and he got sick, and I was like, okay, here, try to run the bakery.
Right.
So Darren did his thing and I did my thing, and it was like, okay, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, Bill. You've
And
both
the
made
whole
it.
bakery came together and I think worked well and understood where we were all coming from.
And we dealt with that, throughout, because with my dad's health. So
Well, the two of you and your family and your wives have carried on a tremendous tradition and it truly is quality you have down here in service, and the tradition continues with Milano Bakery here in Joliet, serving the Chicagoland area, and maybe very soon, who knows, throughout the entire world. It, I hope, has been as enjoyable for you as it has been for me, talking to Mario and to Darren. Milano Bakery, I'm Richard Fredrickson. We'll see you next time.
thank you.